Let's go.
Yeah, and I would say that that's probably the best way to start approaching versus mode. Because you can last a long time if you're defensive, and if you can start with a foundation being offensive and then learn how to get a little more aggressive on top of that, and you swap between being aggressive and defensive, I think that'll get you pretty far.
Work harder, young one.
Okay, is this our first Koga player?
Work harder, young one.
Possibly. I could be wrong on that.
I'm feeling giddy.
But it's nice we get some Golbat. Oh, there's a potential for a Golbat head-to-head in this matchup, actually. I think the people would want to see that.
Do they both have Golbats?
They do.
Oh, jeez. Nintendo, why did you get lazy?
I always love doing that because there are multiple Pokemons on different trainers, but these are the only two duplicates that basically have the same sound. I think they're the slightest bit different, but they're basically the same.
The programmers were like, we need to adjust these hertz by like 2, just so it sounds a little different. Oh, look at Dux. He sees the 5 combo potential there. So good field vision there.
Work harder, young one.
And here we go. We see a little bit of the slowdown right now. This is both of them. They'll get those couple combos off for chains, and then they just immediately go on the defense. So they make sure they don't run out of blocks or just get topped off, which is, you know, a pretty basic strategy for this kind of level. And you'll see that with like any kind of game. When you don't have that ability to extend it out to that maximum possible thing you can do, you're just gonna mostly just try to stay alive, which both of them are doing a pretty good job at it so far.
Yeah, we're coming up on the 145 mark here. Yeah, I don't think either one of them has been quite fully topped off yet. So I feel like it's going to come down to who gets some better block arrangement, because you could get some block arrangement that just leads itself to a ton of combos, and maybe like an accidental chain here and there.
We are not beat yet.
I'm feeling giddy.
And I really like it when you see the player. Ooh, look at that! Look at that triple shock block there. That's probably the most efficient, and followed up by an 8 combo. Let's see if Dux can handle this. He has he had the yellows there, but he didn't see him in time.
And that's generally where we're going to see that pressure kicking up, because we've seen so many matches end at that 2:30 to 3 minute mark. That's when the play fields are generally covered a lot more, and so just that one little slip up or not seeing that match immediately is what ends up costing the round at the end.
Work harder, young one. Work harder, young one.
But both of them look pretty evenly matched. I'd say Kiyo is a little bit more consistent, and he's got better garbage clearing abilities for the time being.
I don't think he's going to see those greens there. Oh, not quite. Yeah, it does seem like Kiyo has a better sense of the game at the moment, and like he will see clears that he can get, like some action chains, but he just doesn't get them quite in time sometimes.
So yeah, we got Dux pretty good on the the offensive rather right now. He kind of drops that chain a little bit there, but low on blocks right now. He's probably going to do a stack raise to give him some new stuff to work with, or he just might go for the clear.
He's raising a little bit. You can tell that he's being very tentative. He doesn't want to overwhelm himself. Because that is definitely, when it comes to some new players, just like having that many blocks can like really overwhelm them and intimidate them. Because like a more experienced player can like read a lot of opportunities, but someone who's still learning might be like, well, what do I do here? I have so many things that I can do, and they kind of like shut down a little bit. Kiyo's gonna take the second game as well.
Yeah, overall, he's just a little bit more solid right now with, you know, he's just that constant pressure with the slight mix of defensive play in there, too. It's just anyone who's probably at the level of his, he's gonna find a way just to outlast them.
We're not yet.
I'm feeling giddy.
Work harder, young one.
I'm feeling giddy.
Kiyo does not look like he has the best block arrangement at the moment. But he's gonna get a clear off of this garbage here.
Work harder, young one.
That's another 4 clear. Oh, and he does a nice little action chain right there.
We are not beat yet.
I'm feeling giddy.
We are not beat yet. Work harder, young one.
Okay, so we're right around that 1 minute mark now. Things gonna be picking up. Both of them dealing with the pressure about the same way. Just, you know, little bits of combos here and there. But these small stacks are gonna be slowly raising here.
Yeah, eventually they'll have no choice but to have more blocks to work with.
We are not beat yet.
And plus, those shock blocks are going to come too and make things a little easier because normally you don't get garbage for just a regular 3 clear, but clearing those shock blocks does give you that one shock garbage.
Work harder, young one. Work harder.
Alright, so the pressure is really good for Kiyo right now. It's getting around that 2 minute mark. Dux is playing with a little bit of a high stack as well. Doing some good jobs doing some clears though. But we're going to see if they can truly stick around with what speed's going to be presented to them right here.
Ooh, look at that 3 chain there.
I'm feeling giddy.
Work harder, young one.
Yeah, it seems like
Feeling giddy.
Kiyo
We are
is
not beat yet.
just sticking more to combos, taking them where he can get them. Oh, a nice little chain there. The pull-out chain.
Yep, and you can definitely visualize it here when both of them are kind of like at a stalemate and not doing clears. You can just see it. That screen's slowly creeping up on you.
We are not beat
And
yet.
Dux actually has sent a shock block himself, and oh, Kiyo does find a pretty good clear there to
Look at that double
efficiently,
clear.
yeah, get
Work
both of
harder,
them.
young one. We are
But yeah,
not
here's where Dux is gonna start getting in trouble. His screen almost topped off right now, and as long as Kiyo keeps up the pressure and Dux does
Work
not find
harder,
clears,
young one.
he's gonna win it. But they're both playing pretty high.
Feeling giddy.
This 3 minute mark's gonna be life or death
We
for
are not
someone.
yet one.
Yeah, the speed's ramping up really quickly. Oh geez, Kiyo's in trouble too. He finds the clear on the greens.
Dux can see that yellow there. Oh, he saw it at the
there we
last
go.
second.
Oh, but he gets the non-garbage kill. His screen just maxed out there.
You.
So yeah, Kiyo manages to close out all those rounds, showing his consistency and defensive play. So good stuff for him. He takes another round here. I will say they would have played on level 6 here if I had been around and told them to. But unfortunately, they're going to be sticking with level 4. Which is just going to be a little bit of slower starts at the middle, and we'll see the action heat up towards that like 1.5 to 2 minute mark.
Right, when matters are taken out of their own hands, and You have to deal with the fury of the stack. Ooh, nice. Good 7 starting off from Kiyo.
Which is why generally, even at this level of play, higher level is still good. You can argue that it's harder to find chains, but most of the time these guys are just shooting for 2 or 3 chains anyways, which are pretty easily obtainable on level 8, level 10, because most of the time you're like routing out where your clears are going to be.
Ugh.
Puzzle League's a tricky game in that aspect. It's like, it's really inconsistent on the time-wise, which is unfortunate, but hopefully we got clones in the making, we got netplay that has even more strict timings that are making things faster and crazier, so hopefully there's a lot of promising things to like vamp up this incredible game which I've played basically my entire life.
Yeah, who knows, maybe we'll get an actual new Puzzle League game sometime.
You never know, but I guess shout-outs to Superplexes, which is one of my favorite games that's going to be coming out pretty soon. They've been doing a good job at Medley Studio. They're delivering a fresh idea on the Tetris Attack Puzzle League genre, with the introduction of vertical swaps and power-ups.
Dude, vertical swaps is going to be... Because I've been thinking about that like ever since I was a kid and playing this game. It's like, well, like what if I could like swap up like this, and I'd have so many more opportunities.
Mm-hmm. And which that's cool. It gives you the flexibility, but the engine works around that and makes it more difficult to still do that. So you have more flexibility. The game's more difficult. I think it's pretty well balanced for the time being.
Yeah, I'll have to wait till that comes out on Android. And hopefully Switch, but I know they didn't meet their funding goal for that, so hopefully if that sells well enough, they'll still be able to get enough money to make a Switch version.
Mm-hmm. I think they have plans for it, depending on how well it does, but I know for sure, since it's on iOS right now, they were currently using Game Center engines, but they're working on their own multi-platform engine, as well as trying to push it out on Android at the same time. So that should be a lot more accessible for people. But I guess enough about that. We are getting around crunch time right now, both pretty even. I'd say Dux has kind of got his name for the time being. He's dealing a lot better with the garbage, but he does have that shock block upcoming. But as soon as I say that, there's one on Kiyo's side. And Kiyo's panicking right now. Oh, he finds the clear in the chain at the last second.
Oh, a 9 combo there. That's going to send over 3 blocks.
Oh, that was a super bailout, because I don't think he was expecting that chain either. But, oh, a nice 4 chain on the side of Dux. This could be his first one in this matchup if Kiyo doesn't find anything. It's so close
he's not
on
topped
both
off
sides.
Right now. Yep, he finds those yellows right there. That's going to give him some breathing room.
Oh, man. Dude, Kiyo actually clutched it out. He was... So many times he was so close to dying, but I guess the pressure just got to Dux. And unfortunately, he couldn't take his first round of the match.
Yeah, it seems like Kiyo is like just better enough just good enough to win these, but not win these like in dominating fashion. It looks like he's just outlasting Dux. But it does look like he has a much better feel for the game, and you can see him like lining up some of those 5s, and you can see that he's going for some of these chains. He just doesn't quite have the cursor speed for them.
I'm feeling giddy. I'm feeling giddy.
The Kiyo right now, he's looking for a little bit of action. He doesn't have the most reliable block arrangement at the moment. Oh, and his blocks are starting to dance a little bit, so this is the time where the stack's really gonna start clearing, or start rising.
I'm feeling giddy.
Yeah, I'd say Kiyo basically has the more consistent pressure. But it's interesting because Dux has the ability to pull out those larger chains, as we've seen a couple times in this match.
Ooh, look at that 4 chain there.
Yeah, as soon as I say that, Kiyo's like, man, I can do some chains too. Check this out.
Dude, he even did a lag chain off of that garbage.
And
he's gonna get another.
Here, he's probably he gets another 2 chain with some combo garbage. Dux does find the clear, but he's gonna have a lot of blocks to clear afterward here.
Yeah, let's see if he sees second tier if he needs it. Doesn't need it right now, but he's panicking a little. He's staying alive at the moment. Oh, I think this might. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Do you have anyone else lined up at all?
Later today we're seeing. If you need to tag out anytime, feel free to.
Okay, yeah, I think I'll finish up this match and then do one more after that, and then I think I'm gonna tag out.
Sounds good to me.
Whew. Well, thanks for having me on though. This has been fun. I get to get used to some versus commentary, which I've never done before.
Yeah, versus is a great thing, and it's cool to bounce around multiple things of the game.
Yeah, there are many different elements of the game at play, and this is probably the most. You probably have to be the most aware of the board scenario in versus, because you're not dealing with an AI who's going to follow like specifically programmed patterns, but you're playing as a person who is they're gonna play reasonably. Like they're not just gonna follow programming.
Yeah, I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of this early game is slow. It's kind of just seeing how defensive the people can be. But we got a good setup right here on Kiyo's side from Dux. And he's not really finding any immediate clears so far. He's got to drop that yellow, but he's unable to do so.
Dude, Dux gets a win. I wonder if it was intentional for these two guys to pick some of the worst opponents in S-Hard.
What, like Tracy and,
Yeah.
I never really have too much trouble with Rocket, to be honest. I know Rocket trolls a lot of other people, but...
Well, did you see my splits on my sub-20 run?
Was it Rocket that...
I had a 5-minute Rocket and still got sub-20.
Dang. I can agree with you on Tracy, though. I'm pretty sure, like, on my average splits over time, Tracy is the highest time. There's just something about him. I think he just purposefully cuts off his chains, I swear.
Yeah, it's like, do anything, Tracy. But it's not exactly what we're on about today.
So yeah, Dux kept himself alive with that last game, and if he continues to play like that, all he has to do is win these next two. These wins will be wiped away, and then it's just a race to who can win the next 3 rounds.
Unfortunately, he's not sending very much this time, and Kiyo is keeping up with the tradition of just being able to send more garbage and apply more pressure. He's a lot better at spotting those combo opportunities.
Go, go, go! I'm feeling giddy. Go, go, go!
Alright, we're getting around that time again where things are gonna start to heat up a little bit. 2 minutes is like the sweet spot. Both of them with a
I'm feeling giddy.
3 chain on each other's side as well. That should be cleared out pretty quickly here. But it's going to stall things out long enough to see those stacks just slowly but surely rise up.
I'm feeling giddy.
Yeah, this has definitely been a match where the stack has to be like, alright, it's time to get going, guys.
Go, go, go!
And Kiyo is just a lot better equipped to handle that because he can see these clears a lot better than Ducks can.
I'm feeling giddy. Go, go, go! Oh, man! I'm feeling giddy.
Alright, this could be the end of Ducks here pretty soon. He does get that last bailout clear. And he's got blocks to work with if he can see the clears, but there's going to be a lot of pressure added on here, and that will do it. So yeah, good stuff to Kiyo there. Only drops 1 round and ends up taking that 3-0, 3-1, and he's going to book himself a spot in losers semifinals, actually.